Hi, this is Honor from Citadel Tower Radio, and you're listening to Frazzlecast.
Welcome to Frazzlecast, a podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff, and pretty much whatever else we like to talk about. But every week we are joined by people from... My notes are down here, so sorry. Every week we are joined by people from all around Azeroth and beyond. Today we are joined by Nevar and Siilverbolt. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
So this week, Lady Emma was going to be joining us, but then one of her friends came into town, and last night they weren't able to get together. So tonight they're all around town, painting the town red like Thelma and Louise. But hopefully she'll be here on Thursday. So.
Oh, and she didn't bring her friend to the podcast?
Nah.
That's rough.
Either that or she's embarrassed.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
Okay.
I sense we need to roll for blame.
Probably me. I'm the gnome, of course. I'm the obvious.
This is true.
Oh, no. Hunter takes the cake.
True.
We have a gnome, a hunter, and a demon hunter. I think we're all in trouble.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a bad bar joke.
Only if Giggle Dust was here.
Oh, goodness. Then there'd be lasagna involved.
Oh, man.
Story for another time.
At another place.
Yes.
So, how was your week in WoW and beyond?
Which one of us?
Either.
Go for it, Nevar.
My week is good. It's reset day, so got to open that chest of plenty, and it had plenty of nothing. So, as always, I was thoroughly surprised with disappointment. So, it was great. I got some AP and about 35 gold to the vendor there. So, the vendor and I are like friends. The vendor's like, look, it's Tuesday. And I say, look, here's new goods. And they're like, here's 35 gold. Smack on the back. And I'm like, why, thank you. Thank you very much. And I go about my way, and yet I go in for more punishment and say, here, let me do another plus. So, isn't that the definition of insanity?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, but then, we are demon hunters, and we've sacrificed everything. What have you done lately?
Seriously, don't you get tired when the other demon hunters say the same crap to you?
Yes. I get my follower, I just want to stab her. Like, can we do something more interesting now? Yes. I could fillet a fish you. Don't make me have to. I will put you on a 6-day mission. I'll do it. Don't make me. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. We have a love-hate relationship. Other than that, we did the what I am calling the acronym Tuesday. We did the RSTCTRLFR for Reset Tuesday, convert to raid, looking for raid.
Okay.
And I do that twice in a day, which is a definite glutton for punishment, but it is a lot of fun with all the CTR community. Had a pretty good turnout, I think around 32 this week between the two groups, so it was a blast.
Yeah, more if you did it during evening hours. Sorry, I'm at work.
What? I don't know, but I hear you do one every time there's a new wing out, alternating, do you not? If rumor is correct?
Just recently, I actually did one, or at least I was trying to host one, and then I realized that we had somebody else in the guild who actually did one, so we jumped into his.
Very good.
That was awesome. And then, of course, we had somebody in the group who was just like, oh, we should kick blah, 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 because they're AFK. We're like, they're guildies. And they're like, why? It's like, we're like a whole guild here. And they're like, why are you guys running LFR? Because it's fun, and we're a guild, and we're all in chat, and you're an idiot.
Well, and I heard rumor that there was a DPS warrior who accidentally tanked us, or queued us tank.
Oh, yeah, who the heck was that?
I don't know, but they're an idiot, so...
It wasn't me, but I would like to say that last week I did that as my DPS Demon Hunter, and I queued as tank, and I was like, "Ah, crap! This is not good. I do not have a taunt. This is gonna be bad." So yeah, that's not good. Nobody wants to see me tank.
I was tempted to prove a point today to see if I can do LFR on my phone. I have a remote desktop app with Splash Top, and I use that sometimes just to like scan the auction house or do some other random crap in game or check stuff. And I'm like, I bet I could probably do LFR while that. I mean, it pays that I'm DPS, but still, I haven't tried it yet. But you should
have come with us, because that would have actually been. You could have followed or whatever. It still would have been hilarious to be like, take screenshots from your phone and post them to Twitter while we do it. Adventures of work.
Right.
I like it. It needs to happen next week. Coming on the phone.
All right, you got it. I'll join in for as much as I can next week.
Well, I think Civilization does the same thing on tablets.
Nice. Yeah. I used to raid on a Microsoft Service Pro Generation 1 last expansion at a whopping like 15 frames. It was amazing, let me tell you. I'm not doing that anymore, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, like today, I would have joined you, but my computer was currently migrating files from my other computer, so I couldn't log into WoW, but hopefully I can log into WoW with better graphics now.
Ooh, nice. Got a good upgrade there?
Oh, but very much better graphics. It's using the new Key Lake by Intel. It can turbo boost. I mean, all Intel machines can turbo boost or something like that, but it can go up to like 3.1 gigahertz. So for Mac, that's not bad.
No, not at all. That's great. That is great. How about you? What have you been doing in this wonderful world of Warcraft?
Oh, I made a new shirt that says "nice." It's outside of WoW, but I kept finding myself saying "nice" everywhere, and then like I was in a group with Silver, and I just kept saying "nice," not on purpose, but I was like, "Oh man, I said nice again."
It's like, I rolled on that one. Nice.
It's like between nice and awesome. Those are like the two words that I just default to. So I'm easily impressed.
Awesome, we have turned a drinking game into me saying I like it. So on our podcast, it is if I say I like it, it's take a drink. So yeah, I know how that goes.
Okay, so everybody,
starting right now, drink.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Take a drink. See, you now have a drinking game associated podcast. People are going to be smashed.
It spit all over my computer. I did it, but I was about to.
And if you're under 21, drink water if you're under 21.
Yes. Fire water if you're over 21.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Man.
And then what
else have you been up to, Fraz?
I got a rogue up to 46. I've just been kind of enjoying not being high end, and the rogues, they're actually pretty fun because you don't have to do a lot with the rotation, at least at lower levels. You just go combo point, combo point, combo point, finishing move, combo point, combo point, combo point, finishing move. So I don't know where I am on DPS meters, but I'll wait till 110 to start DPSing that stuff.
That is a good thing. I mean, there's no point to look at the DPS meters until you have to.
No, the funniest thing I remember with the DPS, it was on Frazley, but there is a 103 priest named Baby Mama who told me that Fraz at 106 did worse DPS than his 100. I'm thinking, but you're named Baby Mama, so at least I have my dignity somewhat.
This is true. Oh, man. The hockey team that I used to play on, we named it the Fluffy Bunnies. So if we lost, it was okay because you only beat the Fluffy Bunnies. But if we won, you had to suck it because you lost to the Fluffy Bunnies, and that was it. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, you did not want to lose to us.
No, it probably motivated your opponents to work harder.
Yeah, probably. But anytime we lost, that just drink more beer, so it was okay.
Yeah.
We'd be like, oh, they were meant to win, Oh, yes. Very important. Protect
Absolutely.
your family.
Yeah. Well, and that way it made them feel better about playing the game, so that way they won't ever give up. So see, you're prolonging their team.
Yes, I like to be able to motivate. So there you go. Glad I could be helpful to those wannabe hockey players still that are out there holding on to our youth. Oh wait, I'm still playing WoW. We had this conversation earlier with my Peter Pan syndrome.
Never too old for anything like that.
When I just realized, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Silver. We could have Peter Pan syndrome, but yet she can't fly.
Ouch.
Oh my god,
that was good.
I hate you both so much.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Oh,
Silver.
man.
I got both Broken Isles and Draenor flying in the time since Broken Isles came out.
Shut your face! I just made 100K, so
okay.
Fight you.
Well, maybe you could pay somebody to help you get flying.
So about that dungeon you and I are going to solo later. How much do I owe you for that?
How about you? What have you been up to besides not flying?
Getting there, that's for sure. I finally hit Exalted with Saramar with the Nightfall, which is awesome. I have like 2 more quests to go on that, and then I can jump back into where I left off on Broken Shore. Because I was like, hey, Broken Shore, I probably should finish Saramar first. So that was kind of like this last week. I've been back to another gold making scheme, which is basically I finally power leveled up my engineering on my hunter again because I got sick and tired of, mining and herbalism wasn't making much money anymore like it used to be. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go back to engineering because engineering's fun and I can use Jeeves again. I can use my jumper cables. I can use a lot of fun stuff. So I finally power leveled that to be able to use those items again. I picked up mining because mining is going to supply my alchemist to do transmutes. And I'm going to hopefully power level a couple other of my higher level characters with Transmute Master and corner the market on selling the mats for the mounts that everybody's selling on the auction house. Because mounts are going to take days to sell, mats are not.
That is correct.
So there's another reason why I don't have flying yet. And then I spent
for all those people who buy mounts that can fly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what I do at work most of the time when I do have time to BS off and stuff like that. I'll sit there and make spreadsheets of like, hey, transmutes. Let's just list all the transmutes out, see what their materials are needed and which ones share cooldowns, and I just do that all day instead of doing work.
Well, that is work. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Which means I have to update my mount list. I have lists upon lists upon lists of things like that. So I'm probably at about 220 maybe on mounts now. So I'm getting there. I want my Fellfire Hawk, which yes. I can't use while flying. And
yes, I am not near that. Oh, no, I lied. I'm at 231 mounts right now.
Nice.
I thought I was lower than that, but apparently not.
Yeah, I ran out all the yellow fars last night, so I got those knocked out so I can do the fresh ones this week. And I missed out on Tomb of Sargeras normal last week because our guild, we ran, our raid team ran pluses, which is good because I got some pretty awesome gear. I actually didn't get any good gear. I'm going to make friends with the vendor like Nevar did. But I did get a plus 14 key apparently.
Oh, yeah. So did I. Mine's Blackrock Hold.
I got plus 14 Court of Stars. We got Bolstering, Skittish, and Fortified this week, which is not bad.
Well, the Skittish, for me, Skittish is horrible because of my burst DPS, but yeah, Bolstering, Skittish, Fortified. Yeah, it's better than Tyrannical. I hate Tyrannical.
Or what was the other one last week?
Necrotic.
Yes, Necrotic. Yeah, that was nasty last week.
Yeah, good old
But yeah, we ran that. So we're going to be pushing Heroic this week in with Line of Sight raid team, me and Nevar. We run with that group too. Nevar runs with a whole bunch of other groups as well. But we're going to be running that on Wednesday, tomorrow night. So I'm super stoked to push some progress on we're pushing host if we can.
Yes, that is correct.
So I like to say that we've got 4 out of 9 on farm in Heroic TOS, and we're pushing number 5 for sure on regular. We've gotten her down once, but hopefully we'll get her down a couple more times to state farm, and then after that we'll move on to host and go on from there.
Yeah, it'll be a good run. I mean, it's a good learning run for people, and it's low pressure, so it's really great.
I love it. I love running with you guys just because of the skill and the you guys can carry me.
Yeah, I raid. Usually I'll raid Tuesday nights for our alt night for CTM, then Wednesday nights with Line of Sight, Thursday night with CTM, Friday night with my own raid team for the Summoning Stone, and then Saturday I'm off, Sunday with CTM again. So yeah, it can be a little crazy amongst all the other events and stuff. And I do all that with one tune. I don't even have any alts, so I'm locked out by the time I hit any given day, but I still run so that I make sure people can see content. That's the important thing.
Exactly. I love it. I love everything in CTR. I love what everybody's been doing. It's fantastic. I love being a part of this group.
Yeah, and it's amazing just how much opportunity there is in CTR. When I joined, I was like amazed at all the groups that I can be a part of. I've actually gotten past the fear of missing out, because I'm like, okay, if I miss one thing, there'll be another event sometime I can pick up.
I seriously use your term now whenever something comes up.
Oh yeah, go ahead with the term.
Oh yeah. So Fraz has copyrighted FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So whenever I like FOMO. I mean, I don't like FOMO because that's not a good feeling ever.
No.
But
yes,
the term is perfect.
I don't know where I heard it first, so I can't give claim back, but I'll take credit for it. Yeah, it's all me. Yes. I made the term.
Yes, that is perfect.
Because it can be applied to anything. I mean, like I had fear of missing out on all the things that I didn't have when I took breaks from WoW. I'm like, nope, I can just. There's new stuff, and there's stuff past 7.3, so plenty of stuff.
We pulled somebody back into the fray.
Yes.
Lady Emma.
Yeah, she was taking a break off for the summer, and then through some of our fun through the I think the Mountain Pet last week brought her in, because who doesn't like a color changing pet in Mount? I mean, that's just amazing.
Yes, I agree. I
liked it so much that I gave Blizzard $30 for it.
Yeah, you could buy it. Well, I know some people who could buy it in gold.
Yeah. Part of the.
I wonder who they could be.
I think they might be part of the Bolt Mafia.
Yes, I do believe so. So as we're doing this podcast, I am. I missed. So have you ever been in Dalaran where the sewer is, or not the sewer, but the well?
Yes.
And if you look up from the well to the highest spire that is roughly, I don't know, we'll call that south of it. If you go all the way to the top of that spire, for those that can fly, and you mount up, you ride your mount off and you try and jump and make it in the well.
Oh yeah. Hole in one, or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. There is no achievement. You will just curse splat, but it is good. It's good fun. I did it for hours at one point. Oh, I've got a friend up here now. Somebody else is doing it. It's Leander. He's here to make fun of me.
Nice.
Yes. So
Just
that
make-
is what everybody should do is at some point at least come up here and jump off and see how close. Oh, he cheated. He jumped and he turned into his druid owl and flew away. That is not right.
I'm reminded of Spider-Man now because the Spider-Man 2 game, I used to go on top of the Empire State Building and just glide down and then try to swing my way out.
Yes. Just the silly nonsense that you can find in this game to keep you busy.
We were doing a run with Silver. It was a hide and seek, and wasn't there somebody that was like a night elf? Just they had like a weird name, but then they were just walking around this fence in the Stormwind Park, or was that an NPC?
In the fence. Oh yeah. So it was it was Sprout's turn to hide. So he found a place to hide. I mean, we were hiding in like plain sight, so it's just a matter of like flying around and trying to spot them or whatever. I mean, you could have been in buildings too, but it was like the rules were just that you can hide in places only if you can reach it by ground. So that way it limited from like hiding on like around like the backside of the castle or something stupid like that. So anyway, yeah, so like I'm just like skimming around. I get to the farm out back in the garden area, and there's just this person just hopping the fence, just running around the fence and just staying on top of the fence line, just running all the way around it in just a circle and just kept going. Yeah. I didn't ask him what he was doing or why, but I was just like, what's going on there? That's like when all of us like show up like for Naked Transmog raid nights for me for Convert to Shenanigans, and like we're like all showing up in front of a raid like naked, and there's like people standing out there going, what's going on?
Yes, we've started playing PUBG, and we do Operation NAKED, and we all go in our boxers and start the match out that way, which is really great because sometimes you start out and you just get a helmet and you're in like a Jeep with 4 guys with a helmet and boxers going around trying to find weapons. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Anything you could do just to laugh and have a good time, or we'll have the matches where you just try and chase each other with a frying pan and see who can kill each other first. And yeah,
I have to watch you play sometime because I have no clue. I mean, I know of the game. I roughly know what it is, but I have not seen any gameplay of it yet.
Oh yeah, and when I'm playing, it's even worse because I'll be like, and I'm going into the house. Okay, the room is clear. All right, go through the door. Okay, it's clear. Okay, we're good.
I love it.
I heard a motorcycle, but I'm on headset, so I'm not sure if it's from the left, right, front, or back. But I heard a motorcycle. Or what's even better, my teammates, I have yet to get them to figure this out. They'll sit there and say, I heard somebody coming. And then they won't tell me I'm coming in your door. They'll come in and I shoot their head off. And then they're like, you shot me. And I'm like, you just told me somebody's coming and you come in my door. Well, didn't you see my dot? No, I was looking for somebody to come through the door. Well, give me a break. Don't tell. If you're going to tell me somebody's coming and then you're going to come in my door after you've gotten the adrenaline pumping, you're going to die. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but that's just how it rolls. So yeah, I'm known to kill my teammates. Not necessarily intentionally, but it does happen from time to time, I must say.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. Great WoW conversation as military. All right. Whiskey Alpha Foxtrot Tango, we're off. And then, yeah, it's bad. I am not a military guy, nor can I actually shoot straight. So, yeah. Oh, and now Leander is on top of the needle of the building that I'm in. All right, random stuff. All right, back to me derailing this here.
Well,
that's so different. Leave it to Fraz. He'll guide us. He'll figure it out because even though I said I was going to read the show notes, I still never got a chance today to read the show notes.
oh, it's fine. I've got some items, so let's steer ourselves into the future of WoW, and let's go to Blizzard Watch, because there's an article there. What do Twilight and the Starseeker mount say about WoW's next expansion? Let's get into speculation territory.
Speaking of which, I'm staring at somebody on one. And it's not me.
Ooh, I don't have any tinfoil to put on. This is being ill-prepared. Man.
So, from what I was gleaming from the article, and this is just me glancing at it quickly, so I'm probably wrong and there's probably more to it, but they're saying if you look at how the two mounts are a lot more alien, and they're kind of saying how some of the other mounts have preceded expansions, like the Mystic Runesaber, Bright Paw, Enchanted Fey Dragon, and Iron Skyreaver. I mean, just different mounts have kind of shown where we might go. So what if...
Oh.
Yeah, so what if we're going to space or beyond?
But
Well,
are
we? If we're sorry, I don't mean to. I was.
Oh, go for it.
I don't. We're getting into spoiler territory here, so spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. Like how there's invasions and stuff like that going on, what's going to be happening on Argus is there are going to be portals opening, and we're going to jump in these portals and go to other worlds. So, yeah, there you go.
But with that said, that leads me to say that these remind me more of mounts and animals that would be from Argus than, say, the next expansion.
Yeah, actually, the new Talbuks look pretty freaking wicked. As a hunter, I was looking at them too. One of the posts I saw coming out of Petopia. There's like 12 or something different colors of the new Talbuks, and there's 2 sets of different horns. So there's actually like 24 new pets.
Nice.
Just out of the Talbuk family there, the stags.
Yeah, so I don't know how much it has to do with that. If I was gonna speculate that it has anything to do with the next expansion, I think I would go more with the fact that the color changing could be Old God related. More so than anything else, but who knows?
I would like to see, I mean, again, as a hunter, I would love to see matching color changing pets.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And one of the things that they're saying is, reading more, what if it also means that we might not be seeing an expansion as much as them expanding Argus in the expansion? Or expanding before the expansion is announced. So
here's I predicted this on the show, so I'm going to give you my predictions here. So 7.3 on the 29th.
Yes.
Which is 1 week after Gamescom. So at Gamescom, we will get the cinematic drop of Argus. Whatever it is, their little opening clip that they're going to want to give us, we're going to get that at Gamescom. Following week, we are going to get that. 77 days later is the week after BlizzCon. We will get a drop then, and at BlizzCon, we will get the expansion announcement. We will be in this next tier raid, and we will get one more raid non-tier prior to our new expansion. Those are my crazy predictions. The 77-day theory, if anybody isn't familiar with that, it is since Karazhan, every patch has been 77 days apart.
So that leaves the question, though. So 77 days after that 7.3 after BlizzCon? No, 7.35 after BlizzCon.
Yes.
What's next?
We'll get a 7.4, which will be another mini raid. Because I don't think that the final boss is what we are seeing right now out of this raid, unless we are going to get a mythic boss that isn't announced.
You think there's going to be, well, obviously there's going to be another pre-patch. So 77 days after the BlizzCon 7.35 will be the next 7.4, and then a 7.45,
and then the release.
Yeah.
Which would put it mid next year.
About where this one was.
Yep.
I'd be fine with that. And that way there'd be no content round either.
Yes. And they've been good about that. I mean, right now is the biggest lull, and it's primarily due to the fact that they did such a horrible job on the Broken Shore, because they built it up with so much hype and so little story and so little impact in the dailies and things that you do, that it just doesn't have that bang that Nighthold did. That sadly nobody liked Nighthold because it was hard as far as the quest went, and nobody liked going into Suramar, but it was actual content that mattered.
Yeah. And Suramar is much better. I'm working on the interaction right now. It's better with flying.
Correct, because you can fly to those points, get what you need without having to go through the madness of, wait, something's not right here. And you're like, really?
Yeah.
If it didn't take me out of costume, I would stab you. Why can't I do it like the letter carriers and just go up behind you and go, blink, you're dead? Because I would do that to all of them over and over again, even if I couldn't loot them. No bitterness here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that place was... I mean, it wasn't horrible. I like the concept. They really, really liked Assassin's Creed. I get it.
Yeah.
Great homage there. But, yeah, to keep us there and torture us was not necessarily a very good idea.
Well,
The city's huge.
What they could have done is they could have done something like where you build up rep with the Nightfallen, and then at some point they stop attacking you. Because for me, the city lost some charm because I can't enjoy it because I'm always afraid of someone finding me.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it would be reputation based. At least major parts of the city would become more accessible.
Yeah.
And it never happened. So that was rather disappointing. I think it was a missed opportunity there. But I mean, in hindsight, man, it is a home run compared to, hey, can you get me 1,000 nether shards? Here's 999 back.
I just performed genocide in Suramar. Like, I almost, don't even care anymore. I just, run through the city, and they're like, intruders! I'm like, and?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now if somebody, somebody's working on that, I'll just take them to the elite side and pull the whole thing and just massacre them. I'm like, here's the 2,000 mana you need.
Right.
Merry Christmas, because, man, I hated this place. They deserve it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But from the PTR testing that I've done so far, it looks good. Argus, things are promising. Looking at the new character models that they're putting in there gives me more hope for the expansion than looking at the new mountain pet. Because if we're looking at character models that we're going to boost to in the next expansion, wow.
Yeah. Well, it shows that we're not done with WoW.
Yeah, I mean, they make so much money, they'll keep doing this. Because, I mean, here's the thing. For every game that comes out, for every person that says WoW is dead, for when they sit there and say the game token has broken it, we're not, they're not making the money. Blizzard wants you to buy every game token out there because they're making extra money per that token, plus the fact that you're paying for your normal month. So they are raking in money hand over fist. And if they even kept, we're at what, 4 million? subscribers. We're between four and 7, I think, was the last accurate numbers that we've gotten. You take that times, we'll even say $10 a month. Really? You think we're going anywhere?
And that's
right.
And that's just the Blizzard ecosystem. I mean the WoW, because like all the servers are shared between all the games, and from what I understand, all the profit is kind of shared amongst all Blizzard games.
Yeah, but we are no matter what. Even though I will say that Hearthstone is bringing in a very good chunk of funds to them, still, WoW is their cash cow.
Absolutely.
Summer games and Overwatch.
Yeah, it just is something that isn't going to go away until the demand for it goes away. Till people quit playing, until we drop to 1 million or under, it's not going anywhere. And at 1 million, we're looking at free to play with purchasable content after that.
Yeah.
So it's still not going to go anywhere. I mean, realistically.
Well, I don't think Blizzard's really ever dropped a game that they've ever had. Like, I don't think that servers go offline, but because like Diablo 1 and 2, I think those servers are still online, aren't they?
Well, yeah. Well, they don't have an online part. They're kind of solo.
They just recently dropped support for Diablo 2.
Okay.
I think is what I heard.
But then I've also heard rumors that there could be a Diablo 2 remaster. So then they're bringing the game back, because part of the reason why some of the games is just the support for those games. So they're remastering some of the old ones, like StarCraft Remastered. I've heard that they're redoing that just so that way they can support the game further.
Still, yeah, yeah,
but yeah,
and they get to double dip again.
Oh my god!
You're purchasing the game that you already own with re-rendered graphics.
Yeah.
Alexander dropped the numbers on the StarCraft remaster.
Oh yeah,
nuts! Like the amount, like so there was originally supposed to be what $500,000 for the prize pool that any revenue coming in for StarCraft remaster was supposed to be going towards the new BlizzCon tournament. And it was supposed to be $500,000. It's now $700,000.
Nice.
Because of how many people purchased the StarCraft game. Yeah. That's nuts. And not to mention too, like, so one of the interesting things I had heard somebody had pointed out too is that Blizzard wants you to buy your game time with tokens or buy your Blizzard cash with tokens. And the reason why is because those tokens are being funded by people spending real money. People spending real money, they're spending $20 a pop for a token. They're now turning that back out to other players at $15. So they're gaining a $5 profit on every token exchange.
Well, and then go beyond that. Okay, so look at it in this scenario. So not only are you buying it at $20 and they're turning it around at 15 for, let's say you're using it to buy the digital pet and mount for 30. Okay, so you're going to buy 2 tokens and that's going to total $30, and they made $10. But the skeleton of that is already in game. The skeleton for the cat was already in game. It's a recoloration. So the cost of making that, well, it's so, small that the profit margin on that is through the roof.
Oh, it's insane.
You take a look at anything that is served to you digitally, the profit margin is huge because physical media cost. So if you were going to get at cost, say a PlayStation game, you are looking at $20. It's going to cost you $20 at manufacturer cost. After that is what they're going to take in minus programming, or all of the budgetary stuff, and then they'll make the profit off of that, off of the cut of the vendor too. Digitally, there is no middleman. I mean,
it's insane.
They are making buku bucks, and they're loving us, and they're doing BlizzCons in which we're paying through the teeth to go, and yeah, it is something that's funded by the fans. Blizzard is funded by the fans, and it's not going anywhere until we quit paying.
Right. I wish I had a little bit extra spare cash right now. I would definitely buy a share in Blizzard if they're publicly traded, because I mean
they're under Activision, sadly. But yeah,
because right now, actually, one of the other things I had heard recently too, like one of the articles I didn't catch, I didn't finish reading it, but I started to, was basically saying that Blizzard is the Disney of the new generation.
I can see that.
It's insane. Like those franchises and everything they got going for them. It's just they're the next Disney.
Yeah, I know kids that are playing Overwatch.
Oh yeah, talking about it like
Heroes, Hearthstone. I mean, we are the old people game. I mean, we're the non-cool. No, but there's still new players that are coming in, but it is the older generation because MOBAs are the younger thing. MOBAs and FPS, those are always going to be the popular things. And with the Activision partnership and putting, Destiny on our launcher, we're only going to see more and more things put there. But what people don't realize, which I've pointed out, is you can buy Destiny with Blizzard. I call them Blizzard Bucks. With Blizzard Bucks, which it goes back to that, it's digital. Man, They want you to do it, and that's why they put it there, because it's so much profit.
Well, it's
crazy.
Gear.blizzard.com is currently down for maintenance. One of the theories that I have is that they're going to reintroduce that back into the Battle.net system and let you buy gear for the games with tokens.
I want to see. I need them. They need to bring more transmog stuff back. They tried with the 3 helms, and they were just didn't match. The colors didn't match anything.
Yeah,
and there was it was just not really matching anything else. So it was very disappointing. I really wanted to buy one, but I just didn't. I could not
justify the
it.
cost.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were priced out of reach too. They weren't worth that value, and that I think was also one of the biggest issues, because especially now that you have put a value to gold and the tokens, I mean, you can really say, hey, what is this actually worth? And you just can't justify. What were they, $15 for the helm or something like that?
Yep, because I bought all 3.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger on that one.
I'm a Blizzard fandom, so I did it.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't play StarCraft, but I own all the collector's editions. I buy them. I'm a Blizzard fanboy, but I'm also the guy on our show who sits there and says, Blizzard, you screwed up when they do. So
absolutely.
I hold them to it.
And I'm at least glad to know that Activision doesn't seem like it's putting all of its, because Activision is a company I don't love Activision, but I'm glad that they aren't turning Blizzard fully into them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's interesting because Activision really isn't Activision either. It's Activision Blizzard now. So, I mean, Blizzard has to have some bigger stake in the company, than I think we're currently aware of. Because if you go to any Activision campus, it's Activision Blizzard. So whether they're working on Call of Duty or not, it's an Activision Blizzard campus.
That's awesome.
Well, one of the weirdest places I saw Activision Blizzard, my nephew was like, "Is the Skylanders a Blizzard property?" I was like, "No." On the Activision Blizzard Skylanders, it said Activision. So at first he was like, "Are they running that?" Now I did wonder if the Skylanders Netflix series is worked on by WoW cinematic people, because that would be an interesting it would be taking them off Blizzard projects, but it would at least be giving them a project they can work on to improve their already amazing skills.
I mean, they just need to make digital cartoons already.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd buy them.
I would be all over them. I mean, the WoW movie would have been better had it been done digitally.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it started before digital films really, because digital films became more popular in the past 5-10 years, and the Warcraft movie started 04-05. So I think back then
I would have paid money for a Pixar-ish Warcraft movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the South Park episode more.
Yeah. And that was
hilarious.
And that one was probably done in like a week or a month.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that, I don't know if you ever watched the making, but they did that on a private server with Blizzard, and they actually had hackers hack into the server while they were doing the recording.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which I just thought was great.
Yeah. I thought it was most of it though was like machinima, like half the other like the videos and stuff like that. So that was like part of like the fan service. Like I thought with that episode was like probably at the peak of the time that all those machinima videos were like the hot thing. And that we were actually, Fraz and I were just talking about those recently too, weren't we?
Yeah, well, back when machinima used to be actual stories, not gameplay of this game. Look at me kill somebody for 500 times. There were stories.
I don't know any of those. Because I'm like watching stuff like the internet is for porn and you touch my tra-la-la. I've heard machinima videos. Because those are the ones that were linked to me.
I remember
those are the ones.
Yeah, those were the popular ones because they were the mainstream ones.
I just aged my gameplay of WoW.
I remember Zenrath, Illegal Danish. I do remember that's the World of Warcraft that you play.
Oh goodness, yes.
And actually, I think the music's fitting. It just came on randomly. The glory days back.
Yes, I remember when.
But even then, Blizzard did a smart thing by hiring the people who made the awesome machinima, like Taron Gregory. I have heard that he has brought the cinematics to a whole different level in game. I mean, and he does an amazing job. I've seen some cinematics like, wow.
They need to hire the guy who did the Wrath of the Lich King intro video, or the
that recent one. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And he's got another one too, there's another one he did too, I think.
Yeah.
And there's another one coming.
Yeah, that was very awesome, I have to say. I did enjoy that one.
I'll have to link it to you, Fraz, if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Because the one I'm thinking of is like the one Blizzard did where it was Lich King working at Blizzard, which I still need to watch that one.
Oh no, this one's pretty awesome. It's like a movie trailer almost. It was pretty awesome.
Nice. I must have missed that. So I think we've gone through our will we be seeing 7.3 this month? And yep, absolutely. I think we will be seeing 7.3, and I think we all, especially with Legion's PvP Season 4 ending real soon. That's always a big sign.
Oh yeah, I jumped ahead from the show notes, huh? How about that?
Oh, you're fine.
As I just went, oh look, there. Will we see 7.3 this month? Yes, we will.
Oh, and wouldn't it be interesting if the Christy Golden novel is part of the expansion? Because
he's laughing because that's exactly. I told you I just listened to your last episode too.
Yeah, that's it. I guarantee
it's all coming.
I guarantee it is on the next expansion. I mean, we've had Illidan predating this. We've had, the Shattering. We've had all of these. They've known what the game is. It is coming. It is coming with a vengeance.
Well, in Nevar, I truly have not listened to that episode. I I keep meaning to.
That's what he said.
Oh,
Sorry.
it is all good. I completely understand.
It is just
We
showing
are-
great minds think alike.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, I'm the tinfoil hat guy on our show, so
Have you listened
this is
to
what's gonna
the
happen.
Have you listened to the Blue Recruiters Lounge episode 1? They did a thing on Argus, and yeah, like one of the, it was either Martin or Aston Tier was getting into the like, he had read up pretty far and he was showing all the different things too. There are so many great podcasts I need to listen to.
So on a tangent of the Christy Golden stuff, tinfoil hat stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think she's doing at Blizzard right now? Like, seriously, like, some people were thinking, it's because she's writing the book. Well, somebody else was saying too that she's writing the book because that's what she does. She's writing the book anyway, but that's not why she's at Blizzard. She's doing something else. What do you think she's working on?
I think there's two possibilities. One, she is working on Chronicles because we have Metzen gone. So she is helping doing Chronicles and doing overall editing of Blizzard's story, or she is now helping storyboard actual content.
Right. I like that maybe she's working on Chronicle, because that's actually like, aren't we getting near, like, between Chronicle 2 and this one, the third one now, we're getting to the point where she's written books. The stories.
This next one is going to be Arthas, Jaina, Mr. Whiny Pants, Malfurion.
Tyrande,
my love. I thought you were like big and bad. You need to like go back with the pacifier in the forest and hug a tree. I don't know. Disappointed. Sorry, druids, but the guy let you down. You need to come to the Shrine of Illidan with the rest of us cool demon hunters. I'm just saying, send hate mail to Nevar_SSS at Twitter. And because poor druids, your guys' hero is so whiny. Oh, I hated saving him, I have to say.
right?
Yeah.
You'd hope it was another illusion.
Yes. I was debating on if we could save him and just drop him in the middle of Suramar. It would be what he deserved.
Oh, man.
Well, and we also have a king who has done nothing.
Oh, okay. With that said, I have to say this. Okay, he gets his swords, and he's not in TOS at all.
Man.
You'd think he'd be here, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's like, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna not here.
That's where his dad died.
Greymane is not letting him like leave the castle at all. Well,
Greymane's not here.
Yeah, I don't know where he is right now.
Off fighting Sylvanas?
I don't know. I think they're gonna have hairy undead babies.
I was just gonna say something about like that before you started to open your mouth about like I bet he's gonna say something about like.
Yep. See, you've listened to the show. You know where my. It's like, yep.
Right?
We're gonna have Worgen undead in the next expansion. You heard it here first. They're gonna be the new playable class, and yeah.
Well, them and leper gnomes.
Ooh, yes.
Because my theory is 7.4. We need technology from Nomergon, and we go to Nomergon, and we clear all the leper gnomes out. So then they are pushed out of Nomergon. Where do they go? They go to the Horde, where the Forsaken have been.
Or here's something that we talked about in LFR today, which I actually thought was cool. How about this? Gnome druids that turn into mechanical creatures. So you'll be a mechanical bear or a mechanical cat.
Well, I'd be all for that. Have you seen some of the? I've seen that in concept art, and I definitely be for that. Yeah,
that would be awesome. And Pandaren demon hunters, and then sold. I'm there.
Yes.
Fat dudes with wings. bouncing off the ground. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want their special ability. Forget like I-beam. I want it to be the atomic butt bounce. So when you fly up, you could just cut your wings off and boom, done. Sold. Game over.
Okay, Blizzard, are you listening? If you're listening,
Yep. If you're watching the stream right now, people, I do have the Infinity Gauntlet. Gauntlet thrown down, Blizzard. Bring it.
yes, bring it down.
Done. Gauntlet down. Yes, that mitt that I did not send back to Loot Crate is the best prop ever.
Oh, I saw that because it's like just don't try to pick up pizza like Jack's Pizza.
Yeah, because it'll melt.
Yeah,
It's not really infinite or powerful.
no,
It's kind of sad.
it's made of tears.
Yes, it is.
Well,
All right,
speaking of-
back off this tangent.
Well, speaking of tears, over in Dalaran, there are new people that are spouting a lot of negativity.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
if you go to
The
Dalaran,
naysayers are back.
Oh yeah.
And if you go to the flight point, there are mages on fidget spinners floating around the sky.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I saw
yes.
those. I was leaving out for the Broken Shore, and I saw those too. I was like, "What's going on?" Did you hear too that Argus is in the sky for everyone now?
Yes. Very disappointed in that because I think that the experience of having completed it in LFR for those that didn't have it yet, I think would have been more dramatic than just giving it to them.
yeah,
I think they should have waited to 7-3.
Well, I mean, it's LFR now. I think they should have, you complete it in LFR and you get
Well,
it. I mean, that's
It gave
not
it.
a hard thing.
I would think it would give it to the people who's completed it on normal. All right, great. Now they're giving it to the people who can complete it on LFR. Great. And now they're going to give it to everybody when 7-3 comes out. That's
I
what I
agree.
would have thought. Yeah.
That is a fair way of putting it. I don't like the way they unlocked it for everybody. I think that it takes the power of it away from
Yeah.
when you earn that cinematic for the first time, whether it's LFR or not. That has meaning. That has meaning of why it's there versus, oh, hey, everybody, do you see that burning yellow pit of a green planet up there? I'm not really sure what, it looks like maybe a spider egg sac or something. I don't know, but hey, we're good.
I would be running LFR tonight, but I'm doing something else right now. But I saw earlier Ro posting about he's just posted the screenshot of the buff, the 5% buff. He's like, so it begins, which is the first wipe on Kill Jaden.
Mm-hmm. It's no joke. I'm proud of Blizzard. They did what LFR should be. The mechanic is still there. If you do it, you're good. You have to. There's six meteors that come down. They have to be stood in.
They killed. I think was when they killed the. There was something I saw posted about when they killed off the maiden on the Avatar fight. That they dumbed it down too far on that one. So it's kind of nice that they at least.
I don't even run out. I stand there now. Mind you, I'm geared, but I don't move at all. I don't even move for the explosions anymore. I tell the healers, hey guys, you could choose to heal me or not. I'm helping your parse, but I'm not moving for anything. I'm going to stand here and just tunnel and DPS. And that's all I do.
It's kind of funny because I ran LFR with a guildie yesterday to clear them out before the Tuesday reset. And they said they were in, they were in Emerald Nightmare, and there was like a 930-something mage in there. It turned out to be somebody from Method in there farming out augment runes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, augment runes are important until 7.3 when we can buy them with the new currency, and then we'll be good.
Ooh.
If you didn't hear that already.
No, I did not.
Spoiler alert. The augment ruins like we had on in Warlords, they're going to be sold at the vendor in Argus. So
For what?
the new currency that
Nice.
is there. So if you're saving nether shards, don't. Because they're worthless. I mean, all the work I did on doing opening videos was pointless. Now I will do it.
Are
with
these
the
the
new
same
currency.
videos that you're supposed to be editing and posting?
Yeah.
So you've
Yeah.
waited this long and now they're obsolete.
Yeah, I'll have to do it again on the next ones, which is fine because I can do them quicker then. But I did a lot of nether shard farming. I had at one point 600,000 nether shards.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's
A lot
not
of work.
6,000. No, you said 60,000.
No, 600,000.
Oh, 600,000. Yeah, that definitely changes the factor.
That's like
Yeah.
all the Stardust I have in Pokemon Go that I still need to.
Hey, did you get any legendaries?
I haven't raided.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of legendaries to be had out there. And now if you have all your legendaries for one spec, you don't even have to change specs anymore. You will get
Right.
the legendaries for the other specs automatically.
Right.
Um,
Oh man,
Yes.
much excite.
yeah. Oh, and 7.3. What I love is that they're gonna like do the account wide unlocks, and they're gonna time gate things so that way it doesn't feel like it's everything's. Hey, here's everything. It's Christmas now. Have a sugar high.
It's so
Right.
funny you say that because I am so upset with the fact that the Nether Crucible is gated that I'm actually playing other games. It's that bad. For example, I used to only stream WoW, and I played it 8+ hours a day between streaming and everything else.
And how many concordances do you have?
64, 65.
65 points into concordance?
Oh no, into
the weapons.
I am no, that would be like nuts. I am 14 into concordance. So it is I'm into the multiple billions of what I need. But here's why it makes me upset. So for me to get my next point in the Nether Crucible, I need 2 more points, because it's every 2 points in concordance that you will get another point in your Nether Crucible. Well, I am at the point that if I was to try and get those 2 points, it's going to take me about 62 days at the pace that I was going, which was about 1.5 billion a day. And so it's not worth me grinding anymore until the next artifact knowledge comes out. So with it time gated, it just ultimately forced me to not grind anymore, or AKA not play. So
That's nuts.
Yeah.
yeah. So now I play less because of that gate. Now, if I had alts, which I don't do, and Blizzard has said multiple times people don't grind, but, there's always the extremists like myself who don't care what they say, and we're going to grind no matter what. But, yeah. So that gate hurts me. Everything else I don't mind being gated. It's just that sucks. So
Right.
Well, especially because it's a thing you can use in raiding and things like that.
correct. And it would help with mythic progression and everything else in the meantime. But yeah, ultimately, I don't think concordance has done much, to be honest, as far as DPS increase goes. I think it's more fluff than anything.
Yeah.
And the diminishing returns on it, the initial 1,200 we got was great, but after that everything else is 300. It's a pretty low return on investment there.
Yeah. I got one thing in Concordance on Frazley, and I'm actually now playing alts now because I'm like, okay, I've got that. I've still got things to do on Frazley for other stuff, but yeah, I'm doing alts now.
I only put concordance. I've got concordance in survival, and I'm one point away from concordance in marksman, and that's only because once I actually get flying, I'll have all 3 of my mounts done. That's it, and then I'll start putting points back into BM.
Nice. Yeah, I can understand. Oh, take a shot. But I can understand.
Double shot.
Yep. I can understand that for the different mounts. We only have one mount as a demon hunter, but we have Fel Pepe.
That's right. I don't actually. Hunters don't have any pet or mount or we have 3 separate mounts that we can all get on no matter what spec, but we don't have a mini pet or anything else like that.
But what you get is you get the ability to go tame the exact same thing as your mount.
That is true.
Yeah.
We get the book.
So that's your thing. From my understanding, that's the bonus in it.
It opens up a whole new world of transmog for me.
Warriors just get a mount, unless I'm mistaken.
Don't have anything else?
I don't think so.
Warriors, yeah, I know Warriors, their mounts are tied to spec, so their mount color changes based on spec, but other than that, though, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's why I'm working on some other stuff, because I'm like, now I want the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's not going to give you any other advantage, then
except for being awesome. That's the one thing about Warriors. I don't have to worry about dying. Well,
you have the best entry animation ever. The first time I saw that, I was like, "What the?"
And actually, it's even better after they bug fixed it because
it actually works now.
Well, it was cool before, but then they modified the animation to make it even cooler.
Nice.
Except we have Odin never ever respects me. I always have to prove my worth to him, and it's never ever going to be enough.
It's like Daddy.
Yeah,
it's never good enough. It's never good enough.
Yeah, that's sounds about right. Poor Odin. I mean, you know what really makes me mad about Odin more than that is when you have to do, if you do the invasion and right after you do the scenario and he takes lightning to that ship, why didn't he just blow the damn thing up to begin with? Why did we have to go on there and kill some demons when he could have just thrown a lightning bolt at that thing and just been done?
Just because he wanted to make us feel like we could accomplish things. Or he was lazy.
Yeah, that's just like doing Tomb of Sargeras with everybody standing outside the wall staring at us and not doing anything or helping us. And then he's like, "Hey, heroes, now look at this. I'm glad we were able to accomplish this." I'm like, "We got a mouse in your pocket there, buddy, because you didn't do Buckus."
Yeah.
Sounds like Khadgar?
Yeah. Khadgar, also known as the pimp of all succubus, since he loses his gold all the time when he goes to visit them. Yes.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's losing his gold for something. He's either going to see a succubus or the Sisters of the Moon. You take your pick, but it's someone special.
Well, and the good thing is when he visits there, he has more gold than the Venezuelan Bolivar.
Yes. And this is true.
So, Silver, you actually have a lot more money now than you realize.
Right?
Yes.
So we're spending most of it tonight, man. Wiping.
Are you doing the Tapfa thing right now?
Yeah. We're a little short-handed, some of our awesome folks.
I'm going to try a while tonight to see how it is on stuff. Because I want to see if my graphics are much better.
Nice.
Like I said, I would have been doing all the LFR tiers tonight, but I was like, ooh, first 3 heroic? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Thank God, I had the guildie I was running with the other day. It was like, I don't use augment runes. You can have them all. I'm like, oh my God.
What?
They gave me 14 of them.
Wow.
They don't raid. They PvP mostly.
But even then, those are worth a lot on the auction house.
I'm not gonna sell them. I'm
No.
buying them.
But I was thinking for them, I was thinking like, wow, that's a lot of gold. Because
if they drop me anymore, I'm definitely gonna send some cash their way for sure. Because I was trying to figure out, like, they gave me about 14 of them, so that's about 3 to 4K. So I'll definitely drop them some big old thank you cash, because that's awesome.
So I was curious, both of you talk about like all these events every night. How do you handle burnout?
Burnout?
Yeah.
Burnout.
Like, how do you handle...
You're asking the person who's playing PUBG right now.
Okay.
No, well, here's the thing. I didn't play... I'm not playing PUBG because I'm burned out. I'm playing PUBG because I don't have content to continue to do.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is I was grinding out AP, and as much as I say I wasn't grinding it out, it was kind of just, I was in game waiting for somebody to say, hey, let's go do a Mythic Plus, or let's go do this. And I justified it by flying around the Broken Shore, getting treasures. And I would max out my treasures every day. I'd get my 100 treasures a day. When the Nether Disruptor's up, I'll do all 50 portals every day while the Nether Disruptor's up. I'll do those things, and it was kind of a means to an end. I knew I was going to get a point out of it. I knew, I was helping other people out by helping them get their points in Concordance and so on and so forth. But ultimately, Blizzard kind of put a stop to that. The way I handle burnout is by helping other people. I explain WoW as my bowling league.
Okay.
It gives me the chance to meet new people, to create an experience with them every time we go out and do something. Whether it's run a dungeon, whether I'm helping them get their nether chunks or whatever it is that they need on the Broken Shore, or whatever it is, it's just fun to hang out with other people. And that's what I get out of WoW. So I don't get a lot of burnout when it comes to that. Burnout for me is if I am grinding without a purpose,
like
then
that.
There's burnout.
Taking that point on, that's like where I played this game for quite some time now, and I got to a point where like all my real life friends stopped playing, and I rolled the Hunter pretty much because they're the best at the time, like one of the best soloing classes there are out there. Like I can tank, I can just do just about anything on my own. And after a while, I got burnout because I just got tired of doing stuff on my own. I wanted friends to do stuff with, and I tried to organize it on my own, and I just didn't have the resources to do it. So now, like same thing that Nevar's talking about, like running these events are so much fun to do on a weekend. Another reason why I don't have flying yet is because I'm doing stuff like that. It's just having fun and making something of this game that to do exactly like this podcast is to talk to other people who have the same passion for this game that I do, and continue to have the passion for this whole company and everything. It's just amazing. Because a lot of my friends, I can talk to them about some stuff, but they're not into WoW anymore. That's not their thing anymore. So for me to be like, oh yeah, there's this and this going on right now, they're like, yeah, that's great. But it's been really good, like in that factor. I'm feeling a little bit of burnout just because like I'm playing, 5 nights out of the week and such. Like I really feel the urge I need to work on chainmail or do something else. But I'm like, I think
I understand that you want to be creative, but you feel like the gameplay is kind of in between that being creative and I don't know, the quote unquote responsibility of gameplay to the community, kind of
right,
is a tight line to draw.
Well, right. Like I have to justify to myself, like I'm playing this game because I'm playing it for the social aspect. Like, granted, yeah, I can go out, I can go meet people and stuff like that. It's hard. It's annoying to like go out and meet people in real life. And I mean, not saying that this is any easier, but it definitely is. We've got this wonderful thing in common, like right now off the bat, that it's just great to build these friendships up like this online. And I want to come online and be like, hey, Fraz, how was your day? Like actually be interested in people's lives outside of this game, even though I can't actually physically, come hang out with you in person. But so I feel at times I have to, for the amount of time I'm playing this game, I have to justify it to myself that I'm doing this for a social reason. Like part of the whole reason I have to laugh is that like I did as much as I have done into the game and into the guild is because I'm like, I made the conscious decision I am going to BlizzCon this year. And I'm like, I need friends. How does one make friends? Join like one of the biggest guilds in the game. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like the game plan behind all this. And I've had a lot of fun just like meeting new people and organizing these events. I mean, yeah, it's feeling validated, or at least feeling, people enjoy this. People like I come online and people are like, hey, it's Siilverbolt, and it feels good. It just feels really good. And you've got to put in the effort and the work in at first to have that kind of return in the end. So, and it's just keeping up with that. But yeah, it's getting to the point where like I feel like I should be creative. I should go be playing DDR or something to be doing some kind of exercise. My dog's like, hey, I need walks. I'm like, and it's just, I'm not being mean, but I'm like, yeah, I can take him out to the beach, but I'm like, but the beach, it's 2 blocks away. That's too far.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my iWatch, I don't know that I'd ever stand up. I'm like, oh, I got to stand up. What's that? Oh yeah, right. I forget.
Yeah, I'm the same way with the Fitbit. I have to get the 10,000 steps, and then I feel I can accomplish stuff. That's the reason I go on these walks, because then I can get a ton of steps in the morning. Then I can play well in the evening or do stuff.
I was getting to the point though, like, was it today or the other day that I was like, I could probably use some Skyrim. Skyrim's calling to me at some point soon. Maybe I'll stream some Skyrim and actually like do like what you're talking about, like how you're like narrating your shopping visits, like actually like narrate your PUBG, so narrate my Skyrim, because like I've had friends who've like gone through Skyrim and they have like these full on stories about like how what's her face? Your house Carl, you get near the beginning and she freaking like is in the doorway all the freaking time and you just like hate her and she's just like there, and then she dies and then you're sad. And he had this amazing like little story that he had made and created for her. It was funny. But
those
anyway.
are great though. I mean, just to be able to do that, and like I said, I'm so used to talking to myself now that it's nuts. And that's why I laugh, because you'll get those people who are like, well, that's not work, and you're like, oh no, man, there's a difference between playing a game when you are not streaming and playing a game while you are streaming, because especially this is what I'm attempting to do for my sole source of income. So I mean, I still have to get up in the morning and I have to do it, and I have to be ready to be on at the scheduled time that I say I'm going to be on. And then you have to be entertaining, whether you feel good or not. If you feel crappy at another job, you can sit at your desk or kind of like be to yourself. If I feel crappy here, I still have to sit there and be like grumpy pants and entertaining. You're like, oh, I feel like crap. I hate you all. Ha ha ha. I'm going to abuse you today. And then people are like, you're going to abuse us? Sold. And I'm like, really? I could have been mean this whole time instead of just being me? Yeah, it's horrible.
And
horrible.
That's what I admire about good streamers. I tried streaming in 15. I had a bout where I tried maybe like 10, 20 hours or more of streaming. But my issue was I would just be so engrossed in the game that you just watch a stream. My lip is like open like to the floor just watching. Except it was funny when I was doing some of the horror games. That like when I was doing Uncharted. Not Uncharted. The other game I Uncharted. The one with the zombies.
I know the zombie one, right?
Yes. Last of Us.
Yes.
That one was fun to do because when I was streaming that one, I knew people were watching, so it actually made me feel even more nervous because I know people are watching me, so I want to do good both for me and for people. And when
okay, I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, that's why I turned off my video on my streaming.
Yeah.
So
I
what's
feel weird,
funny,
like I'm gonna be caught like picking my nose or something.
You got to be aware of that stuff because the funny thing is playing this first person shooter. I don't normally play first person shooters. I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, well, these people come around the corner and I'll yelp or I'll be like, oh, and I'll jump like. And so I keep saying I'm going to go back and make all of these like moments of me jumping because that crap startles you but that makes for good entertainment. I mean, for other people, and
First Encounter Attack Recon. Oh my god! The first time I played that game, I screamed.
Oh yeah, I mean, and those are the things. That's what makes entertainment for people, and I'm also one of the streamers that I try to keep my stream like PG-13ish. I try not to cuss, and which is a lot different than a lot of other first-person shooter people or anything like that, and yeah, so it's definitely it's different in that aspect. So I get some good stuff that way too.
It was fun. One of the nights I saw, there was one night where Siilverbolt was in Black Temple Time Walking, and I couldn't make that raid because I was actually working on like my Demon Hunter, but I went on to Silver.
Oh, that was stressful.
I was watching your stream and I wasn't playing, but I was feeling the same, like the same stress level.
Suspense. Oh my god, That was rough. Not to mention the fact that that was the night I was running 2 raids. Like literally, I was checking in on the other raid, making sure that everybody was doing okay. I still feel bad that they didn't finish, but still, like I had like literally 50 people show up that night to do Black Temple Time Walking.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it's tough, and you feel responsible for the events that you do. You feel responsible, and you want to be able to provide that good entertainment and make sure that in a community this large, there's still going to be conflicting personalities. So you still have to make sure that everybody keeps the view that you want your event to be.
Yeah.
I'm always
in place.
I'm always babysitting people, or I'm always like asking people. I'm like, or at least rather like my closest circle that I'm like, hey, do you have any suggestions, or am I doing this right? Do I have the right, take on this? Do you, like I ask a lot of some of my closest, circle, like, like Sprout or Frazley, like, do you like with that Black Temple Time Walking? I'm like, I asked Sprout, I'm like, Sprout, do you seriously mind taking the reins on this second group? Because like, it's just, I can't run both.
Yeah, that's tough. I've had other events that have been really large like that, and the only thing that I've come up with on situations like that is really running multiple days so that you can split that up and try and balance out your higher end raid people with the groups so that you have that extra umph. But at the same point, that's hard too, because you need people who actually know all of the groups. So yeah, it's a juggling act, and it's not always the easiest juggling act for sure.
Well, it has to be hard to figure out what's going to be successful, or what are people going to gravitate toward, and the things that you think are going to have like wild turnout, nobody shows up for, and the things that you think, oh, no one's going to show up for, everyone shows up for.
Yeah, exactly, and you kind of just play it play it off of those things to see what's successful and what's not successful. And there's so many different forms of media to try and get people connected on, meaning like, okay, well, we have the guild calendar, we have Twitter, we have Discord, we have in-game calendars, we have and there isn't one centralized place that people actually check. So it's hard to get that information out there sometimes. And yeah, it's good times though. I'm in amazement. It's rewarding.
Well, yeah, and that's what's amazing to me is just to see that you're doing this for no competition other than good times.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. That's why I do what I do. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the same as Siilverbolt too. It's to make sure that people can have fun, because there is there's that toxic community that exists out there as well, and nobody wants to deal with that, and I'm sure we've all seen it. And
yeah,
that's where I definitely step in. There's been a couple times where I'm like, hey, I'm not I kind of, we got as event planners, we do have officer status that it's like, hey, I gotta step up, pull up the pants and be like, hey, that language, you need to back off on that, and just, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had to do that several times, and people are like, but I'm like, no, it's there's no real buts there. There's a certain line that exists. You can have your like nice, like incognito type stuff that you're saying and stuff like that, but you don't want to be disrespectful or so out there that it offends people. And there's a lot of people who, I don't know, just don't get that line at times. And yeah, you do have to put on the big boy and big girl pants there and be like, hey, we can't be like that there, because it does bother some people. And yeah.
Well, and the one thing about like the real world, there's so much out there that when we're gaming, we don't want to think about any of that. We just want to think about gaming. And then that's one of the things that's fun, is being able to think just about gaming.
There's a funny thing, actually. I thought about this earlier, but it's like a kind of a topic to talk about, was how our attitudes change depending on who we're hanging out with.
Yeah.
And like, I was spending time with somebody, the other day, and the person can be sometimes kind of crude, kind of vulgar. And I found myself doing the same thing. Like, but, it was just me and them in Discord chat. So I was like, I'll just drop all those, different kind of swear words and things like that. And it was just kind of like good to kind of let loose. But it's definitely interesting to see, like, depending on who you spend time with, that happens.
Yeah.
How you change your attitude or how you behave sometimes depending on who you're with.
And like, that's one thing with guilds. Guilds it's very important which guild you're a part of.
Or just not podcasting, or even just streaming. You are negative, you're going to breed negative, followers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with anything creative. There's always going to be the troll or the negative person that's out there, and yeah, well, that's a whole nother can of worms.
I love, though, that the most of the stuff that we've got going on with the guild and everybody here in the guild, or even like all of our co-guilds and I have words here, that our channels police themselves. Like, really, like we breed this kind of like mentality, and it polices itself. It's amazing. I love it so much.
Yeah. I'm amazed. Isn't it like 8,000 people in the guild?
At least. Well, characters, 8,000 characters.
Okay, but still, that's, if each person has like 12 character slots, that's still a lot of people. I can't do all the math right now, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, even just make it easy. Just say that even if each person had 8 characters, that's at least 1,000 people
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
easily.
guild. And I mean, there are plenty that have a lot, but there are plenty that, like myself, I have one. Even though I'm an officer and supposed to have one in each one, yeah, that does.
I know. I'm just an event planner. I'm lowly event planner.
Yeah, no, I'm supposed to have one in all of them, and I don't.
Why you just?
Because
Oh.
technically I'm an event lead, so
Yes, there we go. Okay.
Well,
I'm a major domo.
You are.
Arigato.
Mr. Roboto. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
Oh, is that
I know.
your-
Every
is that
time I
your
hear
rank?
that, that's all I hear.
Is that your rank?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all silliness to me. I just
I know, right?
to me, I do it. I was doing events before I was an event person. I would just jump in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna create a pug of this, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that," and it's just an extension of that. And since I stream for a living, I'm on all the time.
Right,
So,
right.
now I'm just branching out a little bit more. I'm gonna do a PUBG night. I'm gonna do a Diablo season night.
Nice.
Things
Oh, yeah, that's
things of that nature, so that it gives the community another place to go to play different games if that's what they're interested in. And yeah, like I said, I'm the odd duck. Really, my thing is always just give people a place to play non-judged and have fun, because believe it or not, or what I feel is, believe it or not, that the nerd community is the most critical of themselves. When we were the most persecuted to begin with, we should be the most accepting.
Yeah.
Yet behind a monitor, we are willing to do what was done to us so easily. It blows my mind, and I don't put up with that kind of stuff.
It's kind of funny because there's another community that I'm part of that is very similar in that respect. It's a lot of the oddball people who were like on the outcasts of society in many ways, or the outcasts of social everything, and they're the exact same ways.
To the COD squad?
No, I'm referring to the furry community.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, no, I thought you. Are you aware of the COD squad?
I am aware.
Because they are that for the CTR group, and outside the CTR group, they are a dungeon running group and a non-judgmental dungeon running group, and they are turning one the 22nd actually.
Nice.
of this year, or of this month. So it is a big time for them. I'm one of the founding members of that one, and
Nice.
Captain Cod is the leader of that ship. And if it wasn't for him, a lot of people who are in different raid teams together now would have never met. And it's definitely a community of people want to do Mythic Pluses that they should look into. For sure.
Making a note, join COD Squad.
Yes. And if you would like to join Card Squad, I can give you an invitation.
Okay, absolutely. I'd love to, because I've been looking for a community like that.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. They are the foundation of it is everybody gets a Mythic Plus in a week. It get your chest.
Okay.
If you get more in, great. But we want you to have that excitement at the end of the week or the beginning of the next week. We want you to get that key, step out of your comfort zone, and just know that if we wipe, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna get through it. We'll muster through, and it's okay. Unlike, if you go pug and they get pissed off. I mean, I know we can't burn keys now, but back in the day when we could, it was okay to do. We preferred not doing it, of course, but if it happened, it did. We weren't going to sit there and be like, oh, no, we can't run with that Nevar. He burned my key last week. No, we tried to teach and point things out to people and help them as much as we can. So
yeah, I love that kind of mentality to begin with. Like my first 15 I ever did, actually the only 15 I ever done, we basically just threw shoes and we struggled through it, but we did it. We finished it. With 30 something deaths, but we did it.
So yeah, I'll definitely be joining because that's one of my things is I don't always get all the mechanics. I don't always get all the things, but sometimes
if you want to learn how to tank, they'll teach you.
Not tanking, DPS.
And then on Fridays, I run a normal group.
Ooh.
That is a teaching group that I basically take us up to the point where I know our DPS can't go any further, and I call it. That's it. I don't go through a white fest. Because I don't want to discourage people. I want you to come in. I want you to learn. I want you to have fun and know that it's okay if we wipe. It's cool.
Explain to me bobbing for bosses. I've heard of it, and I haven't looked specifically for the instructions as to what that is.
So bobbing for bosses is what I had created, which was based off the premise of I used to be a member of AIE, and it was called Noob Night, and it was just LFR, and it was to teach people the mechanics. It wasn't to go in and blow through it. It was to go in and say, this is what you need to do. We controlled the entire group, and we went in and we cleared it. And then once that group was good enough to have the understanding, it would move on to normal. And
nice.
they would go in and with that understanding that, hey, if you wipe and you have problems, then that's what's going to happen. It's okay. And bobbing for bosses stopped through the COD squad, but they're talking about restarting it. It's kind of what I'm doing with the LFR on Tuesdays. I don't do a lot of teaching in that, but my Friday group that I run out of the Summoning Stone is a learning experience for people. I don't ever promise a full clear on normal. I don't promise how many bosses we'll get down because it's different people every week. And it's just come. What we kill, we kill. People get loot. Awesome. People have a good time and we're done. And that's pretty much it.
What your Summoning Stone raid team's on the Team Finder right now, right? Correct?
No. Come on.
It's on the shirt. You said it's on the shirt. Why
it is on the shirt. I am so happy that I got it on the shirt. But no, I've never put it on the Team Finder, just primarily because it's not.
I was looking for your raid times today.
It is 6 Central on Friday, and it is.
Oh, I run PvP.
It may go later at some point, but right now that's been what it was. Just because it was nice to get in, get out, and be done. I may even change it to a different day.
I can actually help you out from 6 to 8, maybe.
Yeah, and honestly, it rarely even goes that long. I mean, it's like 6 to 7:30 maybe. Like the last couple of weeks, we've been getting 4 or 5 bosses down. And yeah, that's kind of been the whole gist of it. And like I said, as long as people come in with a good attitude and have fun, and that's all that matters. And yeah, good times.
Always.
Yes.
I mean, this community continues to just impress me every day.
Same. When it's amazing. I feel like WoW's 50% game and 50% community. I mean, because there are parts of it where WoW is just a game. But if I had found this community, I never would have left. If I had become part of all of this, involved with like Twitter, involved with like the guild, but just involved different ways, I would have been here all these past years where you're all in like Wrath of the Lich King and I'm just like out playing like stuff on PS4. Well, back then it was like
Yeah, no, exactly. Because without that camaraderie, it's just a game. And once that content runs out, it becomes stale because you are gated behind needing people.
Yeah.
And if you don't have I won't even call it a static group, but a safe group, then you're just setting yourself up to be ridiculed or disappointed. And that's tough, especially when you just want to come in and have a good time.
Oh yeah, like that was my biggest problem. It's like, I love this game so much. I love talking about this game. I love everything about this game. And then when I didn't have friends to play with, it was depressing. It was really depressing. Like I just, put on break for, 4 months or something like that until like the expansion came out. And I was like, oh my God. And then just went from there. But it was just ready to die off again with time.
Yeah, I was in a guild and we raided in vanilla. Then we broke up over DKP points in Molten Core. And when I had no more community, I was like, why should I be in this game? I left. I came back in 11 for Cataclysm because I wanted to try out WoW again. I was enjoying it. I got a friend to come back into WoW. But then when he left, I was like, who do I talk to?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like Silver was saying. Once your real life friends go, you're like, okay. And then the community, these people that you meet here, they are your real life friend. You may not get to see them on a daily basis or whatever, but you end up making a podcast with them. You end up making this bond that you hang out with them more than you hang out with your real life friends at times. And I
had a creepy joke coming into all this, like coming into CTR, stuff like that. It was like, all the podcasts I was listening to, like all these people who were like in CTR and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's like, I feel like, all these podcasts I've been listening to, like you guys have been like my friends. Like you guys come to work with me. You guys come home with me. It's great. And like, I'm like, it's like, you guys are like my friends, even though if you don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Like it's like making a joke like that. I mean, granted, it's creepy. Yeah, exactly. When you get people who,
it's funny because it's funny that you say that because you will get people who will come up to you, and I get random messages in game from people. Oh, I heard your podcast. It was great. And I'm like, oh, cool. Thank you. I that's awesome. I'm glad you heard it. Or, you get those people who come into your channel. I get a lot of people from Europe because I stream during the day, and they come in and they're chatting with you, and you get them to sub to your channel, and it's like, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to do that.
Like I feel like weird sometimes when I do message people. Like I saw I lurk in the group list over in Discord sidebar there, but then I see names. I'm like, oh, that's such and such, and I'm like, and I just politely whispered them. I'm like, hey, are you such and such? And I just want to say, I hear you all the time. I've been wanting to friend you or anything like that. But along those lines, like there was somebody else who I happened to find. Oh, Spencer Downey. I found in the CTR side panel. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. It's like, oh, this is the beginning of one of my favorite podcasts I like listening to. So it was really cool to see. I just saw the first name. I'm like, hey, are you such and such? And they're like, oh yeah. Oh, I just want to drop you a line and say, hey, I love your podcast. I love everything that you're doing. Keep it up. Just drop them a friendly line. That's the same thing. Like Alessander gave me the tip too. That like send. I need to do my iTunes reviews. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. But see, part of the problem. Okay, I'm going to throw this out there right now. Like, so I listen on my phone through iOS. And part of the problem is every time I go through iTunes to a podcast to want to rate it or, leave a review, it automatically redirects me to the podcast app, which doesn't give me an option to review. So I have to do it on my computer, which by the time I come home, I'm playing WoW. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
But okay, that's perfect because that goes all the way back into the wanting to be creative and balancing it between between game time and this, because there's things I want to do creatively that even to do with my stream and such. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, well, damn, I can't do that because I am in game.
You got family life. You've got other things going on in real life too. It's just like, do I go renew my driver's license today, or do I stream?
Yeah.
What do you mean I stream? I'm like, what? There's something besides streaming? Like, and that's the other thing that has gotten, it's good and bad, but if I'm gaming now, I feel bad if I'm not streaming. I need to be streaming because, like I said, it is my source of income. So if I'm not streaming, then I don't have that opportunity to meet somebody new. I don't have that opportunity to make that connection, to possibly meet, get that sub or donation or anything of that nature. So yeah, I'm like, if I'm gaming, I feel like I need to be on. So I rarely game unless it's on my phone. If I'm always streaming. So yeah, it's that balance.
And
I listen all the time, like following Cuddles and Kick Tripod, about what they go through with turning to full-time streaming. It's really interesting to hear that side of it. I don't have the patience though, that's for sure. Plus I work a full-time job, so.
I can't do streaming because, again, I have to pick one thing besides gaming to do. But to anybody listening, if there's a person that does streaming, does something that you really like and adds value to your life, send them a message, because the only 2 messages that I've received to the podcast have been from the same person. They didn't leave an email. They didn't leave any way to contact them to talk further, but they've just been complaining about one of the hosts but they've just been complaining about the show, not leaving anything constructive. And it made me realize a lot of podcasters probably get emails like that, and then that podcaster or a streamer is like, why should I go on? Not realizing all the other people that are out there who love what you do. So if there's somebody that you really like, let them know. Say, hey, this adds value to my life. And I'm not saying email me, but email those I
agree. Absolutely. The thing is a lot of people think that they're bothering you. They think that, oh, well, what I have to say or whatever, we don't want to bug you or whatever. It's really not bugging anybody who decides to make a podcast or decides to do any of these things. We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
It's when you take it to the creepy level that it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with anything, there's a line with anything.
Yeah, right, I mean, we want to hear what you think, and if you have something negative to say, find what would make it better. Give us an idea, because I know that I'm open to ideas if something is wrong. I watched something on negative reviews and stuff from Will Wheaton, and he gets a ton, and he was like, I get all of these things like you effing this and that and blah blah blah, and he goes, what I do is I take all of the super negative things and I black it out, and I read everything in between that, and if there's something I can pull out of that, then it was worthwhile. If there was nothing I could pull out of it, then this person had absolutely nothing to say.
Yeah,
you're right.
And that to me meant a lot, because if you do get that negativity, then you're like, okay, well, let me black this out. Okay, was there anything like I did not like X, but this, and okay, then there's something there. If not, then it's just somebody who has nothing better to do with their time.
Yeah, and if you're gonna leave feedback with somebody, give them a way to contact you. Not because they're gonna come back and say, I can't believe you said that. They'll come back and talk with you, because negative feedback should create a dialogue. It should create a way where you can talk with the person and say, this is why this is affecting my enjoyment of what you do.
That you touched on this a little bit earlier, Frazley, a second or two ago, about being kind of depressed about like, why should I continue on if this, these people feel this way. That would be a whole subject for a whole nother discussion too, because there's times where once or twice I've created an event and there was like just you and Theo showed up, and it's just, there was Sprout too, and it's just kind of depressing where here I go from like having like 15 people show up. Well, granted, that was kind of like because of Tour Arts and hosting something for the CTR party. But on the other hand, but it was just kind of like afterwards, I'm like, I thought I had a really cool idea. And here's, I don't have many people showing up. And I just kind of, it's depressing. So it's like, how do you turn that around and how do you come back from that and continue doing, creating content and creating, coming back from that? It's definitely a hard struggle to work with.
Yeah. And what I've heard is, like, I've been listening to podcasts about podcasting, which is why I've not listened to some of the WoW podcasts recently. So that's why I haven't heard. Yeah. But
I know.
I have so many. I feel bad when I have to like delete them. Like I just like slide over, delete. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like apologizing to the podcast. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I never delete a podcast. I've got a whole playlist that just puts every WoW podcast there, and then I can at least see when they upgrade or when they post. I just right now have been in the podcast tips playlist, not the WoW playlist. So that's why I didn't hear anything that you said, Nevar. But
oh no, I just unlocked my phone to see where my thing is. I have 32 unplayed podcasts right now, episodes of things. So I mean, I know it goes back to you have to choose what content and what you are going to listen to at that time. And especially for creators, you have to decide what that is, where are you going to pick and put your time to, because between game, between recording, between editing, between everything else, you still have to find that key balance.
Yeah,
I've yet to find. So someday when I figure it out, I'll write a book.
Yeah, I was working on that. I did drop one venture. I've been doing it. It was a thing that it was a one venture that I started years ago to try to make money, but it made a little bit of money, but it wasn't making enough, and I realized I can't put the time right now into that, so I dropped that. But yeah, it's finding that. And then as a creator, I realize not everyone's going to listen to everything that I do, but I keep at it. And it's you probably have the same thing, that not everyone's going to watch every stream. Well,
oh yeah.
But you have those fans that are like on every single episode.
Yeah. I have those people that are there all the time.
That's awesome.
And it's great. And same thing with my stream. I have those people who have it on at work, and they're there faithfully, and I thank them every day, and I try and thank every sub and every donation and cheer that come through. And like for me, every 25 subs, I will do a charity stream. So that I can give back, because it's not just about the things that we can do, but we do have that ability to give back to the community and to charities that need that extra boost. And it's by doing exactly what we're already doing. So I mean, and Siilverbolt just subbed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, thank you.
I have it's a Twitch Prime, but let me pull up Twitch Prime right now.
Woohoo! Yes, you guys make me all teary-eyed, because it matters. Like it does. Like, you get to be those big streamers, and maybe it doesn't matter so much, but I hope that it never hits that. It matters to me, and that kind of thing, is something that will continue, and it's like I said, it's important to give back, and that's just it. Or being on, even something like being on somebody else's podcast, having people come over to the Summoning Stone, or Or there's another member of the community, Polly, who does the Miscellaneous podcast, which is...
What is the name for his podcast? I keep like trying to find it and I can't find it. And you guys are like, you're hitting him up. You're like, hey, how do we find you? And you're like, oh, just Miscellaneous podcast. I'm like, no, I can't find it.
It is literally the Miscellaneous podcast. And
I think that might be what I was missing is the...
Yeah, and it is, it's great. And it's super random. And that's exactly what it is. And you know, for a little bit it got a little off course and a little to the super vulgar and bold side of life, but then he brought it back in. And Fraz, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated. And you know, he brought it back, and he's gotten it back to where, you know, content really matters to him, and he's trying, and so I try, and you know, any podcast that's out there that, you know, has that, I want to put them out there. So I'll definitely, you know, throw shout outs to the show and do what I can to get more listeners here. And as a matter of fact, I'm streaming this right now. So
oh nice. Hey, Twitch.
So and it's labeled your show. So everybody,
Nice.
like, I stopped and started it. So this whole episode is me raiding with CTM currently and listening to the show. So unedited, uncut, and raw, here we are.
Well, and for all the listeners, you probably know this, except for any particular areas, most of the show I put up is raw and uncut.
Nice. Yeah, you know, and that's, I laugh because I have to tell you, your show notes I sent to Leander, because our show notes consist of maybe 5 lines like, hey, let's talk about this, and then it's completely unscripted and like
Wow.
super raw as far as that goes. And yeah, I know we're so far off script, it's ridiculous.
Oh no!
But
I listened to one of your shows. I was like, "Wow, I want to have my show notes like your show notes." Wow.
oh yeah, no, our show notes are non-existent. Like, I mean, it's the big thing for me is I play so much that I know what's going on. I try and listen, and I go to the forums. Well, not the forums. They're just all my things I would like to say about the forums are not very pretty. So
Oh yeah, I think the forums is one of the worst places to go to. But with that,
The epitome of toxic gaming
yes,
and non-constructive criticism.
absolutely. And people don't realize what they say.
I just walked over to the wrong side somehow, and I just killed us all.
Uh-oh. You were not
Whoops.
prepared. Oh, wait.
Well, she's done anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, everybody's dead, but like myself and one tank. I was the wrong color on one side, and then I switched colors and I ran to the other side. I gave everyone the bomb.
Nice.
So you are the
So-
bomb, or you set us
Yes.
up the bomb.
Someone set us
Yes.
up the bomb.
Well,
Well, I think with
that's
that,
a repair bill on me.
yeah,
Take off every zig.
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for coming out to the show tonight. Man,
Yes.
this
I loved it. It was great.
is incredible. I'm like, wow. I look at the time clock. I'm like, it's already 11 Eastern. Wow.
Yeah, I kind of have to be up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Yes,
so.
I thank you so much for being on the show, or
Thank you,
letting me
Nevar,
be on the
for
show.
coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And I'd love to have both of you be back in any time, because this is just so much fun. And as you said, it's that community. And to anybody listening, if there's a project you want to start it. Don't wait.
Yes.
Start-
I'm a free agent for podcasts, so hit me up.
Absolutely. I want Siilverbolt to be on every podcast up here till next January.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean-
I'll be there.
All right, Siilverbolt Sunday at noon Central. You'll be on the Summoning Stone this week.
All right.
Awesome.
be
I'll,
there.
I'll tune in. Well, actually, no, I can't tune in, but
then
I'll listen.
And then we'll have to get you on the next one there, and yeah, we love to try and get people on and share the wealth there and pass the community along.
My dog knows that I'm getting ready to move and we're starting to wrap up because like he's got his little bed behind my chair, and so the next thing I know I've got this dog head like breathing in my ear above my chair.
Nice.
It's adorable.
So can both of you shout out where people can find you?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Nevar_SSS, and you can find me on Twitch at Nevar Impossible.
I like that because it's never impossible.
Yes, exactly.
And that's so Raven.
Yes, it is.
Nice. You can find me on Twitter at Siilverbolt with 2 eyes, at Worgen BM Hunter. Guess what I mean? And in game on Airy Peak, it's Siilverbolt. Actually, Siilverbolt with 2 eyes also _CTR on Twitch when I decide to actually stream at times.
Nice. And I'm at Frazley-tastic on Twitter. You can find me at Frazzlecast. I sometimes appear on that podcast sometimes. And definitely go out and support creators. Go out and be awesome.
Yes, be creative.
Frazzlecast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.